Here's my review of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. First things first that I need to say right off the bat, for my experience with the original, I really like the original. It's very, very fun. But going into this, I'm not like I just wanted to have fun, and I did. But this movie has a lot of problems. For the main one being, this movie has so many subplots, and not all of them get really fleshed out that much in order for you to be connected to any of them. Let's start off with the big positives here. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is so great. He is hilarious in this movie. He's just as, almost just, I guess, devious and annoying, but so funny as he was in the original. He's just great. I mean, Beetlejuice himself is just great. But I think, like I said, the main problem is just the subplots, but nothing to do with the actual characters, I'd say, for the most part. Also, you have that Tim Burton style is just awesome. Like the cartoonish over-the-top style that I loved. Like I said, all great. But when we're getting into the subplots, let's take the subplot with Willem Dafoe, who, I mean, of course, he's Willem Dafoe. I think he's one of the best actors working today. And I think that he's probably the best actor in the world that currently does not possess an Oscar. That's just my opinion. And he was, of course, fantastic in this. And this one, I really like his character, where he was an actor in the real world before he died. And then in the afterlife, he's like this detective. And I thought that was really cool. And he's accusing, have you seen this woman, this detective is Wolf Jackson. And then Monica Bellucci's character, who plays Beetlejuice's ex-wife, is he's tracking this woman down. And it is kind of get confusing because she's killing people in the afterlife, and you're like, how does that work? And they don't really go into it that much at all. But it was fun. Catherine O'Hara, great also. And just whenever they're in the afterlife, that's one of the coolest things about the first one as well. Just seeing how these people died and how they end up, like the Santa Claus that got caught on fire, this man who wasn't able to break out of his box, this magician. It's just so creative. But I will say, I couldn't help but think, none of these characters, in this entire movie, I thought, whether it's Jenna Ortega or Winona Ryder's character, none of them were just as compelling, I think, or as charming as Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis from the original. But I still liked them. And like I said, all just from the prosthetics, from the makeup, everything is just awesome. I really, really loved it. And I love how we have Wolf Jackson's, half of his head is gone. You could see his muscle and his face muscle, and you could see his brain. And it's just awesome. And this whole movie, in terms of an aesthetic point of view, I mean, Tim Burton, just always kills it with visuals. I think that this movie looks great. But on my problems, I'd say Jenna Ortega. I mean, I really like her as an actress. I think, she's just blown up in the past couple years. Good for her. I really liked Wednesday. And I think that she was good in this movie. But she does come across as just that annoying teenager character. I mean, that was who Winona Ryder was in the original, but she's just kind of a little overbearing. Astrid as a character, Jenna Ortega's character, can just be very annoying, like I said. But I don't mind her. But I think that just none of them, outside of Michael Keaton himself. Michael Keaton himself, I think, for the most part, doesn't skip a beat at all. I think, he's just as good here as he was in the original. But I think where this movie kind of doesn't work as well as the original is I don't think that either of our characters are as charming as Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis's characters from the original. And that's unfortunate. But like I said, this movie's still fun. But I think it's just brought down by having too many subplots and just not enough time. This is a pretty short movie. It's about an hour, 46 minutes. And just none of them get enough time, I think, to all flesh them out as characters. But it's still a lot of fun. So yeah, if you want the awesome Tim Burton visuals, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get the creative depth that you do in the original, but just on a character level, I think it just kind of stumbles a little bit. So yeah, the best way I could describe this movie, I think that in terms of a story and plot level and character level, a lot of it's a mess, but it's a fun mess. It's a movie where I think if you go to watch it, you're going to have a really good time with it. But it could also be, I think, I found it to be sometimes frustrating with how much was going on, and it just didn't work for me. But for the most part, I enjoy this movie, and I would watch it again. So I would still go positive on this movie. I just think that it had a lot of story problems and character problems. But like I said, I like the characters, I like the movies. I just think we needed more, and they needed to cut a little bit from a couple different stories. But yeah, overall, I enjoy this movie, and yeah, Michael Keaton still got it.